Hello and welcome to another Something Something Chat Show. Tom Jr. Jackson presents a very goof live stream. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the little bell so you are notified whenever a show goes live or a new video goes up. Excuse me. And we welcome you all here today. I would like to remind you that June 20th, that's next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time. I will be interviewing Maria Espino. She is the president and CEO of The Last Gaming Prophecy Incorporated, and she is the director of the Star Wars animated fan film The Chosen One, which is coming soon. It's in the works at the moment. It's being made, and hope you all see that. And as well as check out the YouTube page, youtube.com/after the sequels. And check out the teaser trailer and all the information about that movie there. And as always, please remember to check out Positive Fandom and the Burnett Work. Two great channels that are friends to this channel, and without them, I would not be here today. So, I want to thank you all for coming. Let's see here. What do I have to say? So, I've been I'm doing the show early this week because I'm doing it today because tomorrow I will be gone for the day and I won't be back till later on Friday. Tomorrow, Friday, no, tomorrow's Thursday. Friday, I will be going to see The Flash. That's right, The Flash, and I'm very excited to see it. And recently, I've been drinking bubbly. Don't know if you can see it or not. It says bubbly, and the flavor is lemon sorbet bubbly. Lemon sorbet. Let me tell you a little story about this. It's not what you think. It has no sugar, no sodium. It's seltzer water, but it tastes like cream soda. It is the weirdest thing, but I like it. I like it a lot. So recently like last night I started watching the first disc of the Green Hornet, and this is from the I would say the 1940s. Yes, from 19. Let's see here. That's 1940. Oh, okay. This is the Green Hornet from 1940, and it has Key Luke, who was the old man at the beginning of Gremlins, the old man who sells them, who tells them the father, "You cannot buy Gizmo." So yeah, um, this is great because if you watch this, a lot of this, especially the first, it's 13 chapters of the original serials that they used to have, and literally at the end of each one, it'll say, see the next chapter next week here at this theater. So this used to be shown on the big screen before like a movie or something like that. So it's like a little serial. Like they used to do it with the Lone Ranger and other things back in the 30s and the 40s. They would show these things called serials, and it'd be 13 chapters, 10 chapters, something like that. But you'd go every week to the theater. Like nowadays, you'd go every week and watch a show on Disney Plus or Netflix or Peacock or wherever. And that is how they used to do the shows then. Because in 1940, they didn't have, I don't think they had television yet. Maybe they did. But it wasn't as big as it was, excuse me, now. So they would show these in theaters. Kids would go. They'd go for a nickel, a dime, and they'd go and see a movie, a cartoon. No, it'd be a cartoon, serial, a newsreel, and then you'd see the movie. And kids would spend the day on a nickel or dime and see all this in one day. Parents would drop the kids off. The kids would have a day, and they'd go home. So that's how that would work. Um, see what else is on the docket here. Let's see here. Yeah, so um, latest news is that if you are a Beatles fan, like I am a Beatles fan, um, the final Beatles record, as they say, is going to be released later this year. And it's going to be done where they've done it from a cassette tape. They tried making this Beatles record, I want to say 30 years ago when they were doing the anthology series, and they had a cassette tape, and they had a couple songs in it. I think it was Real Love, Free as a Bird, Grow Old with Me, and a song called Now and Then. And they worked on Now and Then for a while, and then George didn't want to do it, and they quit. So for years now, Paul McCartney has been saying, I'm going to go in there and finish it. I'm going to finish the song and put it out. And when they were doing the Get Back documentary, uh, Peter Jackson developed this AI technology which went in and said, okay, this is a voice, this is a piano, this is a guitar, this is a drum. And so they went in with this cassette tape and they said, okay, this is the voice, this is the guitar or piano or whatever. And they took away the instruments and they just took out John's voice and they made it as pristine and as best as they could using this AI technology. And they finished up the song. And they couldn't do it for years because there was a hiss on the tape and they couldn't figure out a way to um, take off the hiss. So that's what they've been doing, and they finally finished it. They finally put the finishing touches on it, and that'll be out later this year, which I'm very excited about because it's been 30 years in the making, even almost 50 years if you want to think about the time that the cassette was made. But yeah, that'll be something interesting to see. I'm very excited about seeing The Flash on Friday. I'm excited to see it because Michael Keaton is playing Batman. And I'm a huge Michael Keaton fan as far back as Night Shift and Mr. Mom and Gung Ho. Um, and Michael Keaton used to work for Mr. Rogers as well at one point in his life. So that is very interesting there. And it's interesting because he only did the two Batman films. He was going to do the third, but didn't like the direction it was going in and said, I'm going to do something else. And when he did something else. And it's interesting about 30 years later, he has decided to come back as Batman. So I'm excited to see how that works and turns out. You know, and from the people that I know that have seen The Flash, they've enjoyed it, they liked it, and that's great. And I'll be willing to make my own opinion on that when I see it for myself, because that's how really it should be. Really should be done. Is you watch the content for yourself and then make your own decision. Don't go by what everybody else says, because that's just an echo. And I've said this last week as well. Um, and a lot of people just these days go by what someone else says and then repeats it. Well, so and so said this movie sucks because of this, this, and this. I agree with them. Have you seen it? No. If you have not seen said show, you can't complain about it. You just can't. Just because someone says, "Well, this has this, this, and this," doesn't mean you can complain about it. Like, I haven't seen the show The Idol yet. I should probably watch it. Do I have a problem with it? Well, they said that certain things were with it, but I can't complain about it because I haven't seen it. So that's how that works. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? Yeah, so we're in the full midst of summer, or just about to swing into the beginning of summer. I would say the first big movie that comes out really kicks off the summer. So for me, summer begins early. And then, by 4th of July, that's when I say, okay, summer's beginning to end. That's how I see it. Like a lot of stores are now starting to put out, like the crafting stores, the home stores are starting to put out their fall items. I've noticed that some stores are starting to put out their sweaters and hoodies, like Walmart is starting to do that. It's just the way it goes. I mean, pretty soon we'll be seeing Halloween stuff in the store, like Halloween candy and stuff. That'll probably be around August, end of August, beginning of September, something like that. That starts rolling in. I used to work in retail, and actually I worked for a catalog company, and I would answer phones, and it once the holidays roll around, people become entitled, and it got crazy. Where if they weren't getting their items, it was our fault that they hadn't gotten it yet, or if something came wrong, it was our fault, and I'd have to explain. No, it's either a mistake that was done in the warehouse, or it happened during shipping, or people didn't want the catalog. So I had one person call up one day saying that I was Satan's helper because of that. Hey, Retro Nerd Girl, how are you? Good to see you. Everybody, please check out Retro Nerd Girl's channel on YouTube. It's a great channel. She does a morning show. She does watch parties. She does everything. I shouldn't say it like that because then it just sounds weird. She does live streams. She does watch parties. She's a great channel. Let's see here. Let's see, where is it? And I hope you are well today, Retro Nerd Girl. I myself am ready to see The Flash. Where did I put it? That's a random. There we go. So we're going to do that. Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. What was I going to say? Our own friend to the channel, someone who I enjoy having to show up in my chats, Irene Jobson, was on the what was called Goose Troop podcast the other day, and she was amazing. She was very funny. She kept making everybody crack up, and it was so great to see Irene getting out there and doing that. Let's see, here we go. And I just put the link to Retro Nerd Girl's um, channel in the comments. So go there, check it out, and subscribe to her channel. She deserves the subscribers. But then again, so do I. So like, comment, and subscribe to my channel as well, and ring the notification bell. And don't forget, June 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern. What is Goose Troop is? Yeah, that's Irene. It's like a um YouTube show. Um, Irene could probably explain it better. Uh, she um, she was great the other day. She was on the show and she left these people speechless. She made them laugh. She was so great at trivia, and it was just a good time. Just a good time. Um, it's from like Midwest, maybe the South or something like that, and it's that's what I could say. I came upon this channel because Irene pointed it out to me. You have to check it out. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You need to check it out. And it was the most hillbilly thing I've ever seen. Are these people sitting around talking about sauerkraut and what they want to put on sauerkraut, and then it's just crazy stuff. Yeah, Illinois, and it was the most hillbilly thing I've ever seen, but it was so funny, so funny. Like the other night when Irene was on this show, she was so funny that she literally made one of the co-hosts on that show pee himself from laughing so hard. And I didn't know that. She didn't know that, but the guy said it the next morning on the other show that he does, and I found that hilarious. That you can make someone laugh that hard that they literally pee themselves. Go figure. Yeah, John, that's great. Illinois. Oh, John Wayne Gacy. I've come upon a YouTube channel, and it's called Harry Camping, and it's from South Korea, and it's this young woman, and she goes camping by herself, and she goes camping in this blow up tent that looks like a cabin almost. And she goes in there and she brings these tables and shelves and plants, and she sets up as if and carpets, and she sets up like she's going to live there. I'm like, okay, this is cool. All right, this is fine. And she's camping in the rain, and then she brings into this tent what looks like a giant kerosene heater. And for those of you who don't know, kerosene heater is a big heater, and there's a little spot on it on the side where you take off the cap and you would put in kerosene. And my family used to have one when I was younger, and it does it will heat up an entire room really well, and if done well enough, it could probably heat up the next room maybe. So this girl brings this heater, this giant heater, into this tent that looks like it's mostly made of cloth and plastic. Kind of like glamping, yeah, kind of. But what's interesting with South Korea with camping there is that here in the United States, when you go camping, you camp and you camp on the ground. You put your tent down on the ground itself. In Korea, or South Korea, I should say, they put their tents on like a plank. So they have like this platform like plank that's on the ground, and you will put your tent on it, or your cabin or whatever it is that you're camping on these tents. So it's literally off the ground. It's amazing. It's like a little deck. It's really really interesting to see something like that. So yeah, so I'm, as I said before, I'm drinking bubbly sparkling water, and today's flavor is lemon sorbet. And this tastes like cream soda, and I'm like, why does this taste like cream soda? There's no calories, no sweeteners, there's no sugar, there's no sodium. It's just sparkling water with lemon flavor and all natural flavors and other natural flavors, but it tastes like right, and it tastes like cream soda. This is really good. It's a lemon sorbet bubbly. And the other one I have is I have like a cream. I actually do have a cream soda flavored bubbly, but none of these stuff have the sodium or the sugar in it. But it tastes really good. I got it the other day from Walmart. Water, when you just gotta hydrate yourself. That is not sponsored by the show. Air sponsors the show. So yeah, that is what's going on. I really don't have anything planned to talk about today, so I'll take any questions. Limoncello, LaCroix. Yeah, LaCroix. Yeah, that's something I don't drink because there's a rumor that that company got sued or got in trouble because there was some sort of chemical that was they found inside of the drink. I forgot what it was called. It was like some sort of detergent or something in it. It's very odd. But yeah. Well, it'd be fun if someone managed to sneak in North Korea and give real life behind the scenes snippets. Well, yeah, that could happen, but unfortunately, with North Korea, you get caught, you get sent somewhere and never seen again. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it would not be wise to. But I'm sure we could send Steve there. I mean, Steve would go. Definitely. 100% go there. Um yeah, so Sarah Polly, who was in the Adventures of Baron Munchausen. She was a child. She's a director. I believe she won an Oscar recently. She is going to direct a live action remake of Bambi for Disney. And that's probably going to be done the same way The Lion King was done. And there's only one shot in The Lion King that is actually real footage, and I think it's like at the beginning of the movie, and all the rest of it is done with the computer and stuff. But that Lion King movie looks so real and it's so good. There's another Lion King movie coming out, but it's like a prequel and has to do with The Rise of Mustafa, something like that. No, I have not seen The Flash yet. I'm going Friday. Friday morning. No, Friday afternoon I'm going. Mustafa, yeah, Simba's father, the one who dies. I was hoping for the Bambi horror. Yeah, that Bambi horror is coming. It's the people who did the Winnie the Pooh movie, I believe, are doing Bambi. And I believe they're working on a sequel for Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Which, by the way, there is a game coming out. Winnie the Pooh has to do with holes. Hold on a second here. Actually, wait, it's on. I think I looked it up on Twitter here, on YouTube here, because I sent the link. I sent it to Winnie's Hole. That's what it's called, Winnie's Hole. Let's see if I can find the trailer here. Winnie's Hole. Share. Copy link. So, for those of you who have Steam, I just put the link in the chat for the trailer to Winnie's Hole. It's a video game that's coming out on Steam, and it is the weirdest thing you'll ever see. I actually sent a link over to Taylor Gonzalez, 50 Shades of Tay, and as you all know, 3 Ys, 0 dads, or what's the difference between Nemo and Taylor's dad? You can't find them. I gotta tell Taylor that joke. But yeah, I was looking up dark humor jokes the other day because I was watching a video of someone telling them, and my God, some of those jokes, it was like, oh my God, how could you say that? As a matter of fact, I could actually tell some dark humor jokes right now. Why don't we do that? Yeah, because I got nothing else to do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing The Flash on Friday. Dark humor jokes. Dark humor jokes that are twisted, morbid, and funny. Or as I like to call, ways to get yourself canceled. Let's see here. I just got my doctor's test results and I'm really upset about it. Turns out I'm not going to be a doctor. My grief counselor died. He was so good, I don't even care. Today I asked my phone, Siri, why am I still single? And it activated the front camera. A man wakes from a coma. His wife changes out of her black clothes and irritated remarks, I can't depend on you in anything, can I? As I get older, I remember all the people I lost along the way. Maybe my budding career as a tour guide was not the right choice. I was digging in our garden and I found a chest full of gold coins. I wanted to run straight home and tell my wife about it. Then I remembered why I was digging in our garden. The doctor gave me some cream for my skin rash. He said I was a sight for psoriasis. Don't challenge death to a pillow fight unless you're prepared for the Reaper concussions. Oh, the Reaper cushions. My mistake. Reaper cushions. What's this say? By the way, today is the 10th anniversary of The Last of Us. Of the game. Let's see here. Even people who are good for nothing have the capacity to bring a smile to your face, like when you push them down the stairs. Welcome, V. I'm just telling some dark humor jokes. A man walks into the enchanted forest and tries to cut down a talking tree. You can't cut me down, the tree exclaims. I'm a talking tree. The man responds, you may be a talking tree, but you will dialogue. My mom died. I couldn't remember when we couldn't remember her blood type. As she died, she kept telling us, be positive. But it's hard without her. That's just dark. That's dark. I visited my new friend in his apartment. He told me to make myself at home. So I threw him out. I hate having visitors. When my Uncle Frank died, he wanted his cremations to be buried in his favorite beer mug. Last wish was to be Frankenstein. You know that phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure? Wonderful saying. Horrible way to find out you were adopted. My husband left a note on the fridge that said, this isn't working. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I opened the fridge door and it's working fine. It is very important to establish a good vocabulary. If I had known the difference between the words antidote and antidote, one of my best friends would still be alive. Want to know how you can make any salad into a Caesar style salad? Stab it 23 times. When I see the names of lovers engraved on a tree, I don't find it cute or romantic. I find it weird how many people take knives with them on outings. That's absolutely true. Give a man a match and he'll be warm for a few hours. Set him on fire and he'll be warm for the rest of his life. My wife is mad that I have no sense of direction, so I packed up my stuff and write. That makes no sense. When does a joke become a dad joke? When it leaves you and never comes back. A priest asked the convicted murderer at the electric chair, do you have any last requests? Yes, replies the murderer. Can you please hold my hand? I just read that someone in New York gets stabbed every 52 seconds. Poor guy. The doctor gave me 1 year to live, so I shot him with my gun. The judge gave me 15 years. Problem solved. Hey, it's the moron, Scotty R. Now, for those of you who don't know, Scott and I are like the grumpy old men, and we call each other moron and putz. So it's not like I'm literally harassing him or calling him names. Scotty's a good friend to the channel. He's on the Phantasmagorium channel, and check that channel out. They've been doing retrospective on the Spider-Man films. They've done retrospectives on the Batman films and the James Bond films, and it's a great channel, and everybody should check out the Phantasmagorium channel and subscribe. No, Irene, I'm sorry, I'm not a jerk in real life. I know, it is heartbreaking for me too. Where did Joe go after getting lost on a minefield? Everywhere. Oh, that's great, V. Thank you for subscribing to Retro Nerd Girls channel. That's great. What's red and bad for your teeth? A brick. My grandfather said my generation relies too much on the latest technology, so I unplugged his life support. Good God, these are dark. My parents raised me as an only child, which really pissed off my sister. What did the Titanic say as it sank? I'm nominating all the passengers for the Ice Bucket Challenge. That's a good one. That's a really good one. That one's for King Tanic. The Titanic joke there. That one's for him. How many emo kids does it take to screw in a light bulb? None. They all sit in the dark and cry. Here's a good dark humor joke. I have a stepladder because my real ladder left when I was 5. You're not my real ladder. I have many jokes about unemployed people. Sadly, none of them work. To teach kids about democracy, I let them vote on dinner. They picked tacos. Then I made pizza because they don't live in a swing state. I was reading a great book about an immortal cat the other day. It was impossible to put down. You see, Scott, you're not useless. You're not completely useless. You can always be used as a bad example. Bum bum bum. I made a website for orphans. It doesn't have a homepage. The other day, my girlfriend asked me to pass her lipstick, but I accidentally passed her a glue stick. She still isn't talking to me. Oh, this is a bad one. Like, really. Why can't Michael Jackson go within 500 meters of a school? Because he's dead. I'm sorry and I apologize mean the same thing, except at a funeral. It turns out a major study recently found that humans eat more bananas than monkeys. But I can't remember the last time I ate a monkey. Going on a field trip with Irene. What's the difference between a Lamborghini and a dead body? I don't have a Lamborghini in my garage. I'll never forget my grandfather's last words to me just before he died. Are you still holding the ladder? Those are dark. Some of those are dark. There was one here that really could have gotten me canceled big time. Yeah, field trip. Remember field trips? I used to do them all the time in school. Sorry, what's the quickest way to get to the hospital? Easy. Just stand in the middle of a busy road. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Oh, this is terrible. What's the hardest part of a vegetable to eat? The wheelchair. No. What's the difference between jelly and jam? You can't jelly a clown into the tiny car. My grandmother has the heart of a lion and a lifetime ban from the zoo. What do you call an inexpensive circumcision? A ripoff. By the way, folks, uh, if you really like comedians and comedy, check out Randy Feltface on YouTube. Randy Feltface is a puppet, and I found Randy Feltface from Scott, and yeah, Randy Feltface has got a few stand-up comedy specials. Yeah, Feltface. Randy Feltface. Feltface. Definitely check that out. He's very funny. It's a very he's from like Australia or something like that. Randy is the bomb. Yeah, and he's a puppet. Irene, you would love it. It's not for your kids, but you would love it. It's a very interesting comic on a YouTube channel. He's got an Australian accent there, so he's very funny. Yeah. Yeah, it's a one puppet show. It literally is a one puppet show. That's right. What did your son say that one day? Like, didn't your son drop the F bomb one day or something like that? I mean, of course you're the best mom. I mean, come on. I mean, Irene, you make people laugh so hard they pee their pants. I mean, why not? That's fan-fucking-tastic. And I'm sure, yes, I did see Across the Spider-Verse. and I really, really enjoyed it. That was another thing I was gonna bring up. Thank you for reminding me. Across the Spider-Verse, someone called it anti-white on Twitter, and I was gonna respond to it, and I said I really don't have the time to go through an argument with someone about that. Well, there are more people of color than there are white people in this movie. Yes, it does end in a cliffhanger. Right, the movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and it's you do start to feel it a little bit, but once you get to that ending, it's like it ends on such a cliffhanger that you're like, no, 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 no. I want to keep going. So it's like a double-edged sword. It works both ways. It feels long, but yet you don't want it to stop once it gets to that cliffhanger. And it is a doozy. Now you gotta wait till next March for it. And one of the greatest things about Across the Spider-Verse, there's a scene in it, and I'm not really giving too much away, where you see the Lego verse, and you see a Lego Spider-Man and his world. And that whole Lego Spider-Man sequence was created and put together by a 14-year-old kid who did a recreation of the Across the Spider-Verse trailer all in Lego. The directors saw that trailer that the kid recreated, and they called up the kid, they hired him, and then they let him animate the scene in the movie. And that's pretty cool that he's 14 years old. He was hired by Sony and people who do this into the Across the Spider-Verse movie, and he did like this sequence. It has to be 2-3 minutes long, something like that. It's not that long, but he 14-year-old animated it. Yeah, isn't I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Are you ATSV2? I don't know what ATSV2 is. I don't know what that is, my friend. Yeah. Because originally it was going to be. Yeah, it should be out August, maybe September. Because I pre-ordered it. Across the Spider-Verse 2. No. Originally it was going to be Across the Spider-Verse Part 1 and Part 2. And then they changed it to Across the Spider-Verse, and then the second one will be the second sequel will be called Beyond the Spider-Verse. And that comes out March 2024. So you have a year to wait for that. Yeah, well, right now you can actually, like, if you want the Blu-ray, you can pre-order that, and I got that on pre-order. Next week I get Avatar 2, and I get that in 3D. So I can't wait for that. The last thunderstorm. One of these days I'm bringing Irene onto the show. She's coming on. She's going to co-host with me, and it's going to be a blast because watching Irene the other night, she was a hoot. She literally had these people, like, she would stop them in mid-sentence for things that she was doing. She was making them laugh. She made one guy piss his pants twice because he was laughing so hard. listening to that Georgia rain. Well, you know what they say, nothing lasts forever in the cold November rain. But yeah. And by the way, folks, please remember, if you're looking for a really fun movie, which yes, Irene and her Hooters. That's a word that I was trying to look for the other night during Midnight Musings. So if you haven't watched last Friday's Midnight Musings, it went into a whole discussion about breasts, and Lyle Rockwell of the 1/6 Scale Man channel brought it up. He wanted to know it was okay to call them titties. And RM goes, oh, yeah. And she was saying it like it was nothing. And it was hilarious because they went into, I guess, a half-hour conversation about different ways of calling breasts titties and all that stuff. And the word I couldn't think of was Hooters. All I could think of was fun bags and pillows. But it was a conversation that, Irene, you missed and you would have loved to have been a part of. And I was like, oh, man. It was one of the best. It was hilarious. Just hilarious. And then someone said, if Rob ever ran for president, Rob being Robert Meyer Burnett, his slogan would be, as long as we're all fucking. I said, all right, thank you. I know what to do with that. And I went and I made a campaign poster for Rob. And literally it says, vote 2024, put a picture of Rob, vote Robert Meyer Burnett for president, trusted leadership in the U.S. and the PGS. And milk jugs, yes. And his running, and his slogan is, as long as we're fucking. And I sent it to Rob. Rob showed it on the show, and Rob loved it. He goes, that's something I can get behind. And I actually tweeted that out on Twitter, and Rob retweeted it, and it's just been getting retweets ever since. People love it. They find it funny. But one of the greatest things, if Halloween's coming up soon, the spooky season is almost here. Give it a few more months. And one of the greatest things I have is this. It's the WNUF Halloween special. All right. This is a Halloween special that was made in 2013. And it was made to look like something that was produced in 1987. And the whole thing looks like it recorded on a videotape and done on some local channel with a local news program and homemade commercials. And then it goes into this these people go into this haunted house and they try to do a seance, and from there it just gets batshit crazy. It is hilarious. But it's called a WNUF Halloween special. It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And yeah, Layla is great. Layla is awesome. Well, I'm only 10, 11 years older than you. No, yeah, well, 11, 12 years older than you, I mean. Because I was born in 75. Christmas Eve was 75, that is. But this is one of the funniest things you'll ever see. And one of the greatest things about this little special is that you could throw it on, invite people over, and make them think that it's something real that's on TV. Hello, Thomas Bartholdi. Thomas has been writing a book, and the last time I saw, he was in the finishing stages of the final chapter or something like that. And once Thomas has finished his book, I'm going to have him on the channel. We're going to discuss it. He doesn't know this because he's just finding out now, but that will be happening. But one of these days, Irene's coming on the channel, and she's going to show us where the milk comes from. Oh, God. I should have had Irene on during my 6ix9ine show. That should be fun. That'll get me like booted off of YouTube. But yeah, the other night I did a live show. I did a late night live because I was bored and didn't know what to do. And I did like an hour and a half, something like that, of a great live show on a Sunday night because, you know, why not? I want to see Joyride. Yeah, that's what Rob was saying. Joyride is very... Rob saw it at CinemaCon. Said it was very, very funny, and it's out there and raunchy, and it's a movie that we need right now. The other movie I want to see is King Titanic. Oh, I got a joke for you, my friend. You know, when did the Titanic was? Oh, it's a Titanic joke too. Oh, and I got it here. Hold on, because this is a great joke. The hipster and the dipster, CEOs, crayons, not Koreans, crayons. Give me a match. No, I'm gonna miss. No, fridge. Close. I probably passed it, but I do have a... Yeah. I'm looking for it. Hold on here. See if I can find it. I was telling some dark humor jokes because why not? And one joke came up, and I was like, "Oh, that one's for King Titanic." Here we go. What did the Titanic say as it sank? I'm nominating all the passengers for the Ice Bucket Challenge. Thank you. You know, the other day Irene asked me how stars die. You know, she loves astronomy, and Irene asked me, how do stars die? And I told her, usually an overdose. The guy who stole my diary just died. My thoughts are with his family. Since the pandemic started, my wife just stands there, sadly looking through the window. I should probably go let her inside. Irene, I was shocked when I found out my toaster was not waterproof. I was shocked when I found out my toaster was not waterproof. Why is there air conditioning in the hospitals? To keep the vegetables cool and fresh. My my boss told me to have a good day, so I went home. My girlfriend wanted a marriage just like a fairy tale. Fair enough. I gave her a loaf of bread and left her in the forest. These are dark humor jokes, folks. I did not write them. I found them online. Some of these could probably get me canceled, but they're funny. Today on a drive, I decided to visit my childhood home. I asked the people living there if I could come inside because I was feeling nostalgic. But they refused and slammed the door in my face. My parents are the worst. Cremation. This show is brought to you by Cremation. Cremation. The final hope for a smoking hot body. No, not really. It's not brought to you by Cremation. That was dark. That was a dark one. Very dark. I was drinking a martini, and the waitress screamed, "Does anyone know CPR?" I yelled, "I know the entire alphabet." We all laughed and laughed, except for one person. I should take some of these jokes and just tell them to Rob. I should do that one day during a members chat. Which, by the way, if you are visiting this channel and this is your first time, please visit the Burn Network, youtube.com/@the and become a member of the channel, where every other Saturday, bi-weekly or bi-monthly? Yeah, bi-weekly, something like that. No, bi-monthly. One of those. You too can join the members only Zoom call with Robert Meyer Burnett and have your 7 minutes in heaven with Robert Meyer Burnett. Ask him anything you want. You don't like something he's doing, you can tell him. You can tell him and he will listen to it, or he will shoot the shit with you. And there she is, Maria Espino, who I'm interviewing on June 20th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, right here on the channel. Maria, who is the CEO and president of a gaming company. She's a director and executive producer of a Star Wars fan film that she's working on right now. It's an animated one. It's called The Chosen One. And I can't wait to talk to her about this. Maria and I have only talked once on Discord by phone and video, and we had a blast just chatting away. And she's got a really great channel, and when you learn more about this film that she's making, it's really cool. If you go to her YouTube channel, youtube.com /@ after the sequels, you can see like a little teaser trailer for it, and there are some videos explaining a little bit about the movie itself and what they want to do with it and their mission statement and all that. She's a great person. I adore Maria. I really do. She's great, and she was very excited to talk to me. She's one of the first people that I've ever talked to on the phone or whatever who had been so excited to want to talk to me. And that really made me feel good. And I really, really like that. And yes, I am. One Maria's channel. It's one of the many channels that I am a moderator for, folks. That makes what, 5 now? 5, 6, 7? Who knows? The amount is endless. I think if I do one more channel, I get a free sub from Subway. Maybe. But yeah, so as I was saying, I'm drinking bubbly sparkling water, lemon sorbet. And this lemon sorbet tastes like cream soda. But this is all water, no sugar, no sodium. I just love it. Maria, I hope you are feeling better and doing well after your stay in the hospital. And then as some people say, what's that? It's a big building with lots of beds and patients, but that's not what's important right now. Yes, I just quoted Airplane. Yeah, the dates. I don't know why Rob didn't do a show this week. I think it was because they were giving away. That's right. Rob has finally given away the final puppy. You're in the hospital till the 19th. You are still in the hospital. That's right. So Maria's there. She's still there, being waited on hand and foot by nurses, doctors, getting that 5-star meal. You know, being woken up in the middle of the night. We need to take your temp. We need to take your blood sugar, not your blood sugar, your blood pressure, because as they say, you don't go to the hospital to rest. I don't know why they say that. Maybe it's because we need to take your blood pressure. I enjoy that. You just fall asleep. What? Oh, okay. But Maria is one of the coolest people I know. I'm not making fun of you, Maria. I don't want you to think that. It's little doctor humor. I'm not a doctor, so it's not doctor humor. It's a little humor there. Hospital humor. That's it. Hospital humor. But yeah. And then there's like I had 2 kidney transplants. And after they do the kidney transplant, you're in bed for a day or something like that. But when they bring you back to your bedroom after a kidney transplant, because you've been on your back for so long, they have to roll you over a little bit so they can wipe down your back. Yeah, there's nothing like hold your breath. What? There is nothing like just being in surgery, having your stomach cut open. We need to turn you over on your side for a moment so we can wipe down your back after being on it for like 4 or 5, 6 hours. Yeah, I can get sick easily, and I believe so can Maria. Maria and I had a nice long conversation about hospital stays as well, and I'll tell you, Maria is one of the coolest people I've gotten to talk to in a while on the phone, and I just seeing her in the members only Zoom calls and stuff. What I love about Maria is her enthusiasm, because Maria, just like me, understands that if you can't laugh and you don't enjoy yourself and you don't have the enthusiasm for things, what's the point in doing anything at all? Because you have to enjoy yourself every moment of the day that you can. And this portion of the show is brought to you by Irene's Cooter. That's right, Irene's Cooter. She popped a human out of it. And so should you. No. That went dark. That went dark. I'm just a dark person today, telling dark jokes, dark humor. Don't know what's going on here, but it's fun. I'm having fun today. Lots of fun. On Friday, I'm going to see The Flash. That's why I'm doing the show today, because tomorrow I'm going to be gone for the day. I'm going to go and do some things, got to run some errands, got to be some places, and all that good stuff. But that's why I'm doing the show today. So, yeah. But I really enjoy, as I said before, I love doing these live shows. And I'm glad that I didn't start off doing live shows. JH Edits is here. JH Edits is another person who at some point I got to set something up with, because we're going to do something on the channel together as well. Everybody wants to come and be on my channel, except for Rob, who keeps saying, yeah, I'll be on your show. I'll let you interview me, but never has the time. So, folks, please go to Twitter at Burnett RM and say, why haven't you been on Tom's show yet? When are you going to let Tom interview you? Get your votes in now. Bother him now. Now, right now, he's probably doing Hot Toys or Fully Articulated. Yes, everybody wants a piece of me. And I'm a good-looking guy, ladies. Single. Yeah. But, yeah, Rob's a great guy. Rob, I'll tell you this, Rob is awesome. Awesome. You know, and I like the fact that one day Rob told me, because sometimes if I'm lucky, I'll do a Zoom call of my own. And Rob will go, Rob, you busy? No, come right on. Sometimes Rob will be wanting to do observations, and I'll go, Rob, want to come hang out on Zoom and chat with me and some other people? And Rob will do that and skip doing observations. Like, I'm like an enabler. I will make Rob not want to do a show. It is funny. But Rob once told me that he loves that I can, during the day, tweet him something really funny, and he could be having the most stressful day, and he'll see that, and it'll make him laugh, and it'll make him feel better and bring him back down to earth. And that means a lot, you know, coming from someone who I'm a fan of. And most people will go, oh, I want, you know, so-and-so's autograph. I don't have to get Rob's autograph because he's my friend now. So, you know, I'm glad now I've become a friend. So it's even better than an autograph, because it's like you got a good friend there, and he's a great friend, and Rob has told me he will always have my back, and he trusts me with being a moderator and the choices that I make when I moderate. So, yeah, that's right. One night, Rob couldn't do, I think it was his Star Trek show. And people wanted to talk about Star Trek Picard. And I said, and I kept saying, one of these days I'm going to throw a Zoom link out. And I did. I put it in the chat. And I got about 4, maybe 5 people to come over and on the Zoom. And we spent like a good hour and a half just chatting away. And I probably should have recorded that. That should have been a show right there. And I would have just called it the show Robert Meyer Burnett could not do. No, but yeah, it's a fun thing to do. And I think that yes, it was during Picard season 3. I think it was maybe the third or fourth episode. It was me, Thomas Bartholdi, Mikey Lito, and yeah, it's like the four of us. And there was someone else, but he couldn't figure out how to stay on and ended up not showing up. But yeah, and the great thing about Rob is this. If you have a problem with Rob will invite you on the show. He will let you have your moment to state your case of why you disagree with him, and then he'll give you his rebuttal. And no matter how many times Rob tells people that, they just shut up. Oh, well, you're this, you're that. Well, then come on my show. Nothing. They just stop because they don't expect for him to respond like that. Because once you get called out like that, it's like, oh, can't say it. Yeah, Picard season 3 was excellent. It was an excellent, excellent season. And for some reason, I think Rob may have been watching season 2 of Strange New Worlds. How do I know this? Because he keeps tweeting out that he's watched certain episodes of season 2. So look for a rant on that to come very soon. Yeah. Oh, come on, Scotty. I mean, you had to have gotten emotional when they walked back onto the Enterprise D. And that scene when they go into it and stuff. And that's one of my favorite scenes is when they're on the Enterprise D and they go flying into the Borg cube. And the great thing about that scene is where they go flying through and, Data's like, I can do this, trust me, is that people have taken that scene and added music to it. So one person put Magic Carpet Ride into it as they're going through and stuff, as a call, almost like a callback to First Contact. And I love that. That's one of my favorite fan edits of that scene. Yeah, it really. Yeah, well, Irene, we all know you like the D. And there we go. Maria has done it, folks. Yeah, Rob has been very busy. I mean, and I like that. I like that Rob's busy. Actually, right. So as I got sidetracked, Rob trusts me in my judgment. So when I moderate, I have this one rule, okay? If you are someone who is being a problem in the chat, I'm going to tell you this, and this is what I tell people. I go, look, you can either stop or I'm going to have to put you in timeout. And if I have to time you out and you come back and you keep going, I'm going to have to boot you and probably ban you. And that's the last thing I want to do. And I want to say about maybe 80% of the time, I will get people who will apologize and stop. And then there are those people who will oh, Irene, would you really like me to spank you, Irene? Because we could probably arrange that, darling. But the other 80% of the time you'll get people apologizing and be fine. And then 10% of the time, you'll get people going, you can't tell me to do that. You can't put me in timeout. I'm an adult. And one day, someone actually complained about me and about the way I was moderating. And I was moderating fine. It was myself and I want to say Justin Toner. And we're both trying to deal with this guy. And this guy decides he's going to complain to Rob about me. And he does it by sending in a super chat. Spends a $10 super chat complaining about me. And I'm thinking, who are you hurting here? You're not hurting me. You're hurting yourself by paying the complaint about me. So we had to boot the guy because he was being a pain. Then he comes back and sends in another $10 super chat and complains more. And we got rid of him again. Then he comes back and says, I've had to go to a third account and complain more about this. And Rob was reading these in consecutive order and goes, look, if you're coming back on a third account, then my moderators are doing something right and you're doing something wrong. And Rob said, basically, you're coming into my house. You follow my rules. You can talk about, things, but you have to respect where you are. And you have to respect it when the moderators have asked you to do something. And we ended up blocking the guy. And I really think what YouTube should do is do a little thing where if you're going to boot someone, do you want us to block this account and any other accounts this person may make? Because they do that on Instagram when you block someone. And they should do that on YouTube as well if you really don't want that person coming back. No, it wasn't Phil. It was not Phil. No one. It wasn't anyone like that. I know the guy spent $30 complaining about myself and Justin Toner and how we were dealing with the show and how we were dealing with him. And sometimes, there'll be conversations where things get a little out of hand and where Rob will bring up a subject that may cause a little controversy. So we had to put up, if it's a political thing, that's Rob's choice of being political, but we would like you to stay on the entertainment topic. Or most people like to bring up Campia, especially if Taylor Gonzalez, 50 Shades of Tay, is in the chat, and then they'll ask him all these questions about John, which makes it very awkward for Taylor because it's really no one's business of what happened between Taylor and John or Rob and John. That's those people's business. It's no one else's, Here's how I see it, Maria says. My channel is like my nightclub. My moderators are my bouncers. Are they still bringing that up? Well, once in a while. Well, the Tiger Paws. I figured out who Tiger Paws was, and they were trying to get me to laugh. They were being funny, and I can tell when who someone is by what they're saying in a way. Campy is okay, everybody has their own way of doing their own shows, and they have their own way of doing things. But I would say if something happens on his show, and let's say, how Rob left, well, that's between Rob and John. Taylor left. That's between Taylor and John. And if either one of those people want to talk about what happened, they will. But I think pushing the subject or keep talking about it, in a way, is not helpful for them. Yeah, they were at CinemaCon, and it was great. Rob and John are still friends, I mean, and it's just the way business goes, like John wanted the show to go in a different direction, and people got very vocal about that. And you have a right to be vocal, but when you start complaining about John, well, he's a piece of crap, blah, 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 and you can be upset about something, but don't slam that person. That's the one rule we have in Rob's chat is we don't bash other YouTubers. I would never do that to anyone else. Because no one wants to bash anyone or hate anyone. It's not good. It's not appropriate. Yes, he's producing Designing Hollywood, and he's sponsoring Robservations as well. Yes, he is. Yeah, and Taylor is doing great with his channel. I love Taylor. Let me tell you all, one night I had a Zoom call with Taylor. It was Taylor and King Tannic. And the three of us had a blast. And the three of us, myself, King Tannic, Taylor, King Tannic, and myself, all three of us are going to do something on each other's channels at some point. But the three of us had a blast, and it got to the point where I had Taylor losing it. I brought up the Human Centipede, and Taylor was finding images online and changing his backgrounds from whatever it was to the Pokemon version of the Human Centipede, the Shrek version of the Human Centipede, and then he had a picture of the prison scene from Human Centipede 3. And it was hilarious. And we had such a great time. And sometimes if I have a thing now where if I'm going to interview someone, I want to talk to them first as a one-to-one, either on the phone or by Zoom, probably by Zoom, and just get to see what the vibe is like. And the vibe is great, and it bounces off great. It's fine. So, like when I talked to Maria, my Human Centipede, well, you'll have to join my OnlyFans for that one, Maria. By the way, you should check out Irene's OnlyFans, which is Irene Jopson's Cat Butts on Parade, where all you see is cat sphincters. It's nonstop cat chocolate starfish. That's right, folks. Yes. So again today, I should say, this morning, I was sent this time a message on Twitter from someone who wants me to join the Illuminati. Yeah, that's what they say about the Flash. Well, I've heard about that. That was about a year ago, maybe a year or two ago. They mentioned that they've already had the Flash, um, the Flash two script written. Um, I would be. I wouldn't. I know that. Let's see, because I'm going to be interviewing Maria, and I think at some point RM wants to interview her. I wouldn't be surprised if Maria ended up on Architects of Imagination, which, by the way, folks, check out Architects of Imagination on the Burnett Work. It's a show that rarely gets discussed, but if you're really interested in video games and the making of video games, it is the most fascinating interviews with people who run video game companies and create them and stuff like that. It's a really great show. There are some pretty interesting people on there, and the host DJ is really cool. So check that out, and check out Lana Yoon. Lana Yoon, who has some her review channel. It's Lana Yoon Reviews on YouTube, but she also does reviews for the Burnett Work as well. So check that out. Yeah, Rob's gonna have. Oh, I know you want me to come first, Maria. I know. Oh, I know. I am just in a twisted mood today. But it's fun. It's a fun mood. This is a fun. But will I go illuminating it? No, I'm not going to become an Illuminati because that's. I think those people are scammers that are asking me to do that because normally they'll hit me up on Twitter, not Twitter, Instagram. They'll hit me up on Instagram and they'll ask me that. Um, yeah, the brood, the brood. Right, right. What does it say? The fireflies illuminate their behinds at night, or mostly at dusk. That they do. That they do. Let's see here. All right. Folks, it is not. It's nice. Hang on here, and this is gonna be fun, folks. This is gonna be a fun thing that I'm about to do. Yeah, you're worried, aren't you, Irene? I'm telling you, one of these days, Irene's coming on the show. She's coming on, and it's going to be fun. Yes, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring that little notification bell. Um, oh, another great show that's out there is called Deadlock. It's DEADLOCH. It's on Prime Video. It takes place in Australia. It's a murder mystery type show, but it's hilarious. And within the first 10 minutes of the show, you see one woman being a cunning linguist on another. Now, folks, I'm going to introduce someone right now, and this is going to be fun. Please welcome to the show. You know him, you love him, Scott from the Phantasmagorium channel, Scott Richardson.
Hello, everybody. We're using our real names then? Okay.
That's right, Scott Richardson. He is a porn star as well.
Unemployed
porn star. So yeah,
I'm an all-around scallywag.
he is. He's a scallywag. He's everything you wanted to be, but we're afraid to ask.
Now,
Scotty, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay, Putz.
It is great to see you.
It is good to see you, but here is, okay, so thank you for having me on your channel, first of all. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. But you do Funko Fridays.
Yes, I do.
Now, I don't know if I showed you my favorite Funkos.
Okay.
Now, you have the same Funko as I do. You're the person who got me to buy the Captain Kirk in the command chair Funko. So I'm not going to show you that one. You've seen it. Now, I have, and the only reason I bring this up is because Tom recently sent me an interview between Bill Maher and John Hamm. I have a man crush on John Hamm. And this is the one of two Funkos that I have that are still in the box. I do not play with these two Funkos. I have Don Draper from Mad Men because I find it fascinating to have a toy of a ruthless advertising executive. Now, I know what you're thinking. He has one of two. Well, of course I have Roger Sterling, John Slattery. So I wanted to say thank you by showing off a Funko. Do you mind if I smoke?
Go for it.
Thanks, man.
Let's see here. And right here, folks, be sure to check out and subscribe to Scott's channel.
I think you're actually a mod on it. On the
I
Phantasmagorium show.
That's one of the many, many channels I am a mod of.
Well, and thank you so much.
What do you got coming up next on the Phantasmagorium channel?
See, it's interesting. I forget. I'm sorry because I have been in the chat. It might have been JH Edits. I'm not sure, but someone was talking about getting Rob and Doomcock together to talk about. It was JH Edits, yeah, and talking about because they have obviously very disparate opinions of Picard season 3.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. And the reason I bring it up is that it feels like the new Indiana Jones movie is going to be a bit of a battlefield. And we were thinking about doing like Kat Sly Snide on Twitter, obviously contributor to the Burnett work. She does Cat's Corner with
He does a great show called the Cat's Corner.
Yeah. And so we were talking about doing a sort of retrospective about the Indiana Jones movie in a countdown to the Dial of Destiny. I feel like the Dial of Destiny is going to be another Battlefield fandom thing, and I don't know if I want to get into that arena, because at the end of the 4 that we'll review, I'm going to go see Dial of Destiny with my dad. He's 74. And I'm like, he's qualified. He introduced me to Indiana Jones. Um, Harrison Ford himself is 80, so my dad still has respect for his elders. Because there's a long theory about, do you care about James Bond when James Bond is younger than you?
Right, right.
And it happened to my dad with Daniel Craig. He was like, you know what? No, forget it. I'm not going to take it.
As a matter of fact, the other day was the 42nd anniversary of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes, that was yesterday or the day before. Yeah. But I don't
Yeah.
want to get into the battlefield about Indiana Jones. I just want to go see an Indiana Jones
Oh,
movie.
yeah. And you know what? I think it'll be fun. It'll be a fun movie.
And that's why I'm going to take a 74-year-old guy. And if he says it sucks, then I'll be like, okay, target audience.
Right.
Target audience does not enjoy this because they grew up with it. Indiana Jones, Harrison Ford is one of the first, major movie stars. My dad obviously reverent towards like John Wayne and Gene Hackman and things like, but Harrison Ford is like, he's young enough for my dad to feel like he's a contemporary as opposed to an idol.
Right.
And
what's it? Harrison Ford has come out and said in a recent interview that if Indiana Jones saw the Nazis of today, he would be first in line to punch him.
Well, only if they had some sort of mystical artifact that he had to get back, because, one Nazi Indiana Jones can punch, but like an army of Nazis with the Ark of the Covenant, dude, that's too much. Indiana Jones can't do that.
Right.
So anyway, in answer to your question, what are we doing on the Phantasmagorium? On Thursdays, we like to talk about Quantum Leap, the classic one with Scott Bakula and Dean Stockwell. It's great.
Right.
And then we're just trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out if I want to get into that conversation about Indiana Jones with the culmination of how good is Dial of Destiny. And all I want is, an adventure movie. I know there's going to be special effects, like the gopher from the beginning of Crystal Skull and the monkeys and everything. So we're talking about doing that, and then after that, I don't know. I know Ben from Cinema Gulp is planning on doing an Armageddon retrospective.
Yeah, by the way, folks, check out the Cinema Gulp YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Cinema he's got some great reviews. They do some pretty cool stuff over there on that channel. It's a lot of fun. And Ben, who's one of the hosts on it, is a good friend and just all around good guy. Really good guy. Like Scott and I have been in many, many Zoom calls with him, just us all bullshitting about movies and whatnot. And he's a really great guy to talk with. And his work is top notch with what he does.
Definitely. Oh, and it's great. He doesn't do live streams, but he does edited content. I think if you go to Cinema Gulp @CinemaGulp on the tweets, he did do a recut of Kill Bill 1 and 2 into a 2.5-hour movie. And so he's an editor as well and talented. I really enjoyed what he did with that movie. It's a fan edit and it's cool.
Yeah, he is.
What do you got? What do you got coming up? What are you looking forward to going? You're going to go see Flash.
I'm going to see Flash on Friday. And then Tuesday the 20th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, I am interviewing Maria Espino.
I heard, yes.
And I will be interviewing her. She's actually in the chat right now, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
She is a CEO of and president and CEO of a gaming company, the Last Gaming Prophecy, I believe it's called, or the Last Prophecy Gaming.
Nice.
I get that title wrong. I will have it right when it comes time. And she's also a director, first time director maybe, because she's directing a Star Wars fan film.
Ooh.
An animated one called The Chosen One, and it really is going to be interesting. There's a teaser trailer on her channel for it. She and I are going to talk about that and so much more when that comes out. Last Prophecy Gaming, yes, that's what it's called. As a matter of fact, Maria has worked on Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order, because she has shown up during RM's gaming streams, and she was playing the games, and she was giving her little hints to help her out. And she goes, "Well, no, do try this and try that." And they were talking a lot about the game. I can't wait to see.
Well, and Maria says, no, I've directed many things before, mostly in the video gaming world, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I've never directed anything. It would be interesting to hear your thoughts, Maria.
Yeah, and it's amazing who I've come in contact with, being on YouTube or being around the YouTube world, like to come in contact with Rob. Like you and I are both fans of Rob. We could go for having Rob's autograph, but we got something better than that. We're friends with him.
Yeah, no, but I disagree with you wholeheartedly. There's only one reason, because I have the 2-disc special edition for Free Enterprise. It is one of my favorite movies from the 90s, and I want that man to sign this. I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm sure it can happen. I could ask him, and he'd be like, fine, come over. And I would be like, different coast, man. But I appreciate the fact that, yes, I do want his autograph on this. But the friendship is really, really cool.
And I really love how Rob always says, well, please, come to the house and stay. Yeah. We have the spare room. Come and stay. And every time he says that little voice in my head is going, are you sure Elizabeth's going to let you invite strangers to come and stay over?
Oh, dude, but like Liz loves me because of, Ace loves me because of, I was a big fan of whining about movies. She loved it when I showed up and screwed things back, up.
And Rob has shown new artwork for the show, and it is coming back, he says, because he shows there's new artwork and stuff coming for it. It's just about finding the time, but they are coming back, and I can't wait for that.
So apparently Maria worked on this. The new Battlefront as well. Yeah. So Maria says, I also worked on Mass Effect, which I have. It's on Xbox 360. I'm sorry. I'm Amish. And Battlefront, the new games, and Life is Strange. Nice. And The Last of Us. Wow. So you must be Canadian, Maria, I'm assuming.
Maria, Maria is Canadian.
So am I. Congratulations on the roulette of life.
And this is the 10th anniversary of The Last of Us.
Oh, wow. See, wasn't The Last of Us a PlayStation exclusive? Because I never got a chance to play it.
I think so. Mm-hmm. I haven't played it either.
With Mass Effect, and I really enjoy. Yeah,
she's Venezuelan. She's Venezuelan.
Oh, my stars.
Right. That's right, Venezuelan.
Oh, okay. Well,
but when
I thought the publishers, I thought that they were okay.
When you hear her talk, she's Venezuelan by way of New York.
We live in such a very strange society that I feel bad about accusing someone of being Canadian. I'm like,
you're Canadian, damn you. You're Canadian, and you're going to like it, eh?
Yeah, no, don't. I'm sorry.
You're going to be Canadian and like it, right? Sorry there, eh?
But, yeah. So, well, that's fantastic. I can't wait to see that one.
And then I already have my ticket for Indiana Jones as well.
I don't have it yet. I know I'm going to be. Well, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Is it doing an IMAX thing or a 3D thing?
I think IMAX,
Yeah,
but I don't know about the 3D.
I don't know if it's. I don't know. Do I need to see it in an IMAX?
I don't know. I mean, I'm going to see it. And actually, the funny thing is, I'm going to see it in the theater that I saw. Um, Raiders of the not Raiders of the Lost Ark. I saw the Last Crusade in, which is downtown here.
Nice.
Yeah.
You saw that in IMAX?
No, it's a little local theater. I'll send you pictures of it later. It was closed for like 40 years. It closed back in 86 because a film projector broke, and then they found asbestos in the building, and it went for years of being closed. And then through lots of fundraisers and all that, someone bought the theater. They completely renovated it, and they put in 3 theaters. There's like a balcony cinema where they could take the screen out, and it becomes a giant theater where you could sit in there and watch like an orchestra or a play or something like that. And then there's like a bar at the other end of the theater as well. It's really nice.
No, that's fantastic. Those classic cinema restorations.
Yeah, and it's beautiful, and it's a nice not home theater, but locally owned place to go. We used to have a Regal Cinema that was up the street from me.
Oh wow!
And then that closed at the end of last summer. So the last movie I ever saw at that theater was, I want to say, Nope.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like Nope?
Yeah, I did. I'll tell you why.
Please.
Because it was one of those movies that you weren't expecting. It wasn't like what everybody was saying. Okay, it's about aliens, but it's this, it's this, it's this, and then you see it, and it's different. And there's that one scene in the film that completely freaked me out, where the people are in the park and they all get sucked up into this alien, and there's a scene where you're just seeing them going up through the digestive tract. And
okay.
And it's the most unsettling thing you could ever see. So you hear them all screaming, and it's women and children and men, and they're all being sucked up into it. It's something else. But what blew me away is that Nope has a connection to some anime called Evangelion. Yes, that's it. Because the alien from that had some sort of connection to that, the director has said.
Hey, Maria's got to go, but thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you for coming, Maria. And
see you soon.
I'll see you soon, my friend. Take care.
I got distracted. What are we doing? Oh, Nope.
Yeah, Nope. Love you too, Maria. Thanks for coming.
I liked No Way Out. I didn't see Us.
Matter of fact, I'm wearing my No Way Out shirt, my No Way Out Funko shirt.
Dude. Not No Way Out. That's No Way Home.
No Way Home. No Way Out.
Not No Way Out.
No Way Out. That's an old Kevin Costner movie.
What's the first one? What's the first?
Okay, Maria. I'll talk to you later as well, my friend.
Jordan Peele movie, the first one.
Oh, Get Out.
Get Out, not No Way Out.
Right.
You're wearing your No Way Home. I just recently
No Way Home.
You know what? Kat and I just recently did a retrospective on all of the Spider-Man movies except for Across the Spider-Verse. And
that's a fun movie.
I'm not going to a theater for 2 hours and 20 minutes of frenetic animation. I'm just not.
I
I want to watch it
Yes.
at home where I can enjoy perfectly legal substances. I want to be as comfortable as possible when I watch that. It's not a theater experience for me. And also, I would have had to go by myself. And there is something a little unsettling in my community because, theaters are regional. If I show up by myself to watch the Spider-Man movie, like I'm going to see a matinee.
Yeah.
Well, middle-aged man with a bunch of it's all going to be kids in the summertime watching this movie, and I'm going to be the one guy who's watching. Like, I wouldn't go. Every animated movie I've seen with someone else, and so I wouldn't go to an animated movie by myself.
The Hidden asks, did that retrospective include the 70s live action Spider Man TV show?
No, it was just the cinematic ones because we did a Batman thing and it went on and on and on because Ernesto Martinez, who was there, and he very graciously put up with me. I heard he didn't enjoy his time. I was a little interruptive. But like we started going into um Hush, the animated movie. Like we started going into the DC animated universe, and I was just like, I'm not, it's not that I'm against them. I just don't have much to talk about when it comes to the animated movies. I prefer seeing at least some semblance of a stuntman.
Which is a nice segue into saying we just lost another great, iconic person in the world of comics,
Mm-hmm.
John Romita Jr. No,
Ramita
Senior.
Senior. Yeah.
Senior.
It's really 93 years old, though. What a run.
Yeah, that's a great run.
And so he is one of the most, I think he's one of the most influential. I know his name, and I would say that I'm a casual comic book fan, maybe like north end of casual. But John Romita, obviously, well, he created a junior who continued the legacy. So he has provided a lot to comics, and I think he drew the night Gwen Stacy died. So
I think so, yes.
So if he killed Gwen Stacy, he made me feel it. And now that he's passed, thank you, John. I appreciate it.
I mean, it's amazing when you look at someone's work, especially in comics. I mean, like Stan Lee came from a time where you just didn't go into comics because that was kiddie stuff. But I think it was him that turned it into no, anybody can do this, any age, anybody can do it. And I think all the artwork that's done in comic books is a form of art.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that those who want the recognition, especially when a movie is made and they use your work or they use the character that you made, they should be paid. They should be monetized or given credit for that because that's hours and hours and hours of someone's hard work of creating that character that you're taking and putting into this film.
Was he a part of sort of recouping residuals or modifying the payment structure at Marvel?
I don't know. Maybe.
Maybe.
It's funny is that this morning I was watching a video podcast and
Mm,
Irene was in the chat and they started talking about outer space and they brought up Voyager and I went no, it's called Voyager because I'm the only one that could take a serious conversation and just insert a Star Trek little tidbit from Star Trek in it. But I found out that Voyager has been going on since September of 77,
mm-hmm.
and it still sends back um, stuff. It still sends back the
Still sending data.
data, and it takes about 10 hours to receive it.
Well, that's cool. That's actually not that long, considering it was sent in the 70s. I'm
Mm.
impressed. 10 hour, 10 hour. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Like you're not talking back to it, so you're not waiting for responses. But it's
right.
that's an impressive transmission range that it's still going. Is it past Pluto yet? I
Oh
thought it was
yeah,
past
it's
Pluto.
it's it's
Yeah,
it's past Pluto.
it's interstellar.
Yeah, yeah, it actually passed the interstellar barrier a few
Mm.
years ago.
So that's yeah. Well, hooray for human ingenuity.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Speaking of outer space. Can I tell you? Okay, I got this thing and nobody wants to talk about it. Or at least nobody that I know. I watched a movie recently and it could be considered somewhat adult.
Okay.
I saw Pretty Maids All in a Row.
Okay. Okay.
Now, Pretty Maids All in a Row is from Roger Vadim, the same director as Barbarella.
Okay.
Um, so you understand that it is sort of blue.
Right.
This movie stars Rock Hudson, Telly Savalas, James Doohan, Angie Dickinson, and oh my stars, what's the name of the guy? Who's the guy who shoots the Coca-Cola machine in Doctor Strangelove? Someone will know. Anyway, it's a murder mystery, and it's very sexually charged about teachers having sex with students. There's a lot of nudity, and there's murder. It was written by Gene Roddenberry. The screenplay is by Gene Roddenberry, and it does sort of shine a light on the freer aspects of Gene Roddenberry's life. We've heard from time to time that he's enjoyed his inebriates. He had his open relationships. He was a shrewd businessman who wrote lyrics to the theme to Star Trek simply to get some sort of money.
Well, you had Irina sexually charged.
I would recommend this film. If you have the opportunity to see Pretty Maids All in a Row, I recommend it, especially when you're having a conversation about the creative genius of Gene Roddenberry, because this also is a product of the creative genius of Gene Roddenberry. When you think of the creative genius that is George Lucas, what do you get? You get THX 1138, you get American Graffiti, and Willow. Maybe Howard the Duck if you want to be a jerk. When you talk
And then
about the
that little
creative,
movie, and then that little movie that never went anywhere, that Star something, Star
no,
Wars.
but the Star Wars is sort of the centerpiece. Everyone knows George Lucas did Star Wars. That's one that it's like, okay, fine. Yeah, we know that one. But with Gene Roddenberry, it's like, check out the Questor tapes. Like, go and look at these other things that he created because his whole life wasn't just Star Trek. It just became the most popular. And so when you do watch Pretty Maids All in a Row, you're like, huh, a lot of nudity written that way. A lot of slapstick. There's a bunch of stuff that goes on in this movie. And it does shine a light on the great bird of the galaxy, if you will. Some people say, what a visionary. And I agree. But also I say, huh, a lot of nudity. You're a big fan. Don't forget what he tried to do with Next Generation with Troy and Three Bosoms, like that lady Ensign Sonia Gomez from Total Recall. Gene Roddenberry. Don't ignore the rest. Just because he made Star Trek, don't ignore the rest.
And Scott would like you all to watch Behind the Green Door as well.
Behind the Green Door, have I seen that?
That's Marilyn Chambers.
I don't think I've seen it.
I think they actually did a movie about it with Charlie and Emilio about the guys who made that movie.
I'm gonna have to see it.
Yeah.
Why did you think I've seen it?
I just thought you had. You
All
know,
right. All right. It just
I
seemed
mean,
like up my alley.
yeah, you are a porn connoisseur.
I wouldn't say. I enjoy titillating cinema.
You know, you missed last Friday's midnight musings where the co-host Lael got Rob and RM to do. They talked for about 30 minutes about breasts and the different names of them. Yeah, because Lael asked the question, "Am I allowed to call them titties?" And RM goes, "Yes."
Oh, well, if RM says yes. It's the person who brings them to
Oh
the
yeah. By
party.
the
It's like,
way,
what may I call
that's a
them?
good question. The hidden has. Are you saying that what we saw in Total Recall was from Gene's imagination?
Um, I'd have to remember what year Total Recall came out.
91.
80. Is it 91? It could be 91.
Yeah.
I'm saying that it was probably some sort of rumbling around. I don't know. In terms of science fiction, don't you think that men have always dreamed of the three-breasted woman? They
Yeah.
those that idea must go back to like 1950s pulp novel covers.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think Gene Roddenberry come up with three titty ladies. This is why I got blocked
You got blocked from where?
from the Burnett work because I brought up the three titty ladies. I didn't know that they brought back the three titty lady conversation there. So what were the categories of titty?
Names that you could call them.
Yeah, so examples. I only know
You
titty. That's
know,
the one I use.
big old titties
Big.
and
Well, that's the same thing I said, but big O.
yeah,
What else? You got
fun bags, pillows,
pillows.
bazoombas.
Bazoombas is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. What about?
So yeah.
Did it segue into anything about Johnson's?
Yes.
I
And that came from
was
RM.
so excited.
That was from RM
Yes.
because they're in the middle of talking about breasts, and all of a sudden she goes, "Like dick," and she just says it
Yep.
seriously.
Well,
You
hey,
know?
good. Then it's all bases are covered.
Hey, give me a quick second.
Yeah, take your time.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Everybody asked Scott some questions.
Well, yeah, it would be beneficial. It would keep things going. But that's super interesting. That Tom is going to have on Maria. Obviously, a very prolific and experienced director and creative. That'll be super interesting. The JH Edits says that probably goes back to the ancient Greeks. The three titty lady, probably. Oh yeah, no, well, like a hydra, but with memories. And then Irene Jacobson asks if I'm a top or a bottom. It depends. It does depend on the day, the mood, the cosplay. Who knows? Um, Thomas Bertholdi says comics has the best in spandex. True. Oh man. First things first. If you're, I'm a dude, and if I were to wear a superhero costume, not armor plating. If we're gonna go armor plating, would you be RoboCop or Iron Man? Probably Iron Man. But in terms of superhero costume, if I'm a dude, Captain America, and from the first Avenger when he rescues the Howling Commandos. If I were a lady, what is the sexiest comic book? Oh man. If I was a lady, what would be the sexiest thing? Like, okay, so I'm a guy and I see a lady and she's dressed in this. I'm gonna have to go with you know what? Rogue. I like the fact that she has the yellow and green spandex, but also has the jacket for you know, looking rough and tumble. I don't know. Child of the 90s. I love Jim Lee's character design. V says, I had to miss films because it's a family movie. And the other hand, if I was with a girl, I don't really want to be in a cinema full of kids, but teenagers can be worse. Um, yeah. Well, I don't know. Again, I'm a Canadian, so when I go to the cinema, I don't necessarily have the atrocious behavior that I've heard about. Like, I've always found going to the cinema to be a pleasurable experience. I've never been interrupted by anyone around me to any great degree. And also, I think when I go to a cinema, I'm the one who bothers other people. So, yeah. But yeah, if it's a family movie, I don't mind going on date night. I don't mind going with friends who are actually interested. I saw Rango with a bunch of guys because we thought it looked bitchin', and it was still great. If you haven't seen Rango, I recommend it. But yeah, cinema full of kids, no dice. Teenagers, I can deal with teenagers. I don't really, I don't accept their scorn. Irene says, if you had to live out a movie plot, what movie and which character and why? Um, See, because I've seen the movie and I know that he lives to the end, I would do Hunter S. Thompson from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, only because I know he survives. Now, if we were to do this, if I were dropped in this universe, could I do it? I would say Fletch, either Chevy Chase or John Hamm, preferably the John Hamm one, because, you know, who do you want to be? John Hamm. So yeah, I would say those are my two answers. One, only because I would live Fear and Loathing. If I were dropped in the universe and I had to contend with everything that they contend with, Fletch. And probably even Chevy. I'd be fine with being Chevy's Fletch. The Hidden, Iron Man, of course, in terms of the superhero costume. Yeah, but it just feels like you're stepping into a tank or a power armor or something. It doesn't feel like a costume. It feels like a necessity. Even Batman wears a costume. Iron Man wears armor. So, and then, your mileage may vary. I'm not, I don't have a degree. I've never created these outfits. Just my opinion. JH Edit says, I've seen some adults act pretty bad in the theater. I've been one of them. I got rather inebriated at my 4DX viewing of Top Gun Maverick, and then I annoyed everyone who was in a moving seat. So,
Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca. That's a good role there.
That is a good one. We were talking about if you could live any movie character, which one would you? I said Hunter S. Thompson in Fear and Loathing or Fletch. You think, you ponder. I'm going to take my break now.
Okay. I would say, I wonder who would I be? I don't know. Well, I wouldn't want to be Hannibal Lecter. I'm not really one to be a psychopathic cannibal. That's a good question. I guess I'd be Captain Kirk and exploring new planets and new civilizations and all that. That seems like something I could do. So yeah. And Irene would be an Olympic swimmer in my eyes because, she would like to swim in my eyes, as she likes to point out. Yeah, okay. During a movie, yes, I can say that I had seen Bad Behavior in a movie theater. And it was like right. It's been like during a movie where like you're watching a movie, and out of the blue, someone will put their phone on to check the time or something. Because you're in the movie, and all of a sudden, out of the corner of your eye, you'll see a light come on. Or I remember once before a movie, some kids were being loud, and my father turned around and told, oh my God, he told some poor girl sitting behind us with her friends, hey, horse face, shut it.
Oh my.
Yeah. Um, yeah, your last question from the last show, The Hidden. Let's see here. I had to think more about that question.
Well, if we ask you tomorrow and it changes, it doesn't matter. You can reconsider the facts and then come up with something better.
Well, no, he asked me an in-depth. The Hidden asks very in-depth questions.
Okay.
Like really like challenging questions. And this is a question I might have to revisit a movie over because of a certain scene he asked me about. So I'll have to get back to you on the answer to that question. Oh, Irene, come on. We know what you would like we know what you like in your popcorn.
Would she go down on you in a theater?
Water. Scott. My goodness.
Oh, come on.
You know, Scott, if you stick your tongue out and you pretend to shake salt on your tongue, it actually tastes like salt.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Have you ever try it? Go ahead.
I don't have any salt.
No, if you you know what I'm trying to get you to do, don't you?
Yes. It reminds me of that time that you sent me a shake weight and you were like, just send me a video of you using it.
Yeah, so earlier Scott brought up the name Phil. Now, does Phil still come to your shows?
Phil is actually Phil's a good friend of mine. Phil sent me about 42 Blu-rays about 3 months ago. And yeah, no, I still talk to Phil and I care for him dearly. He has been kicked out of more things than I have, but I still get along with him incredibly. He's a good dude. I would go so far as to say I don't know how I earned his friendship, but we're buds.
No, Phil McBalls. Phil McBalls.
Phil McCracken.
Yeah, Phil McCracken.
Well, yeah. We're talking about Black Phillip Alvarez.
Yeah, does he still do his shows?
He's sort of taken a step back from YouTube, and he's getting into shape. He's been riding bikes and stuff, and so no, he's doing well for himself. He's not as present in this space, and he seems to be happier for it.
And V has said, Scott, I would give you a pass if you were drunk.
Fair enough. Hey, don't worry. I'll work on it.
That's right. If many of you watched some of the past episodes, you'll.
Oh, dude, we had to re-record the Casino Royale.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah. So, and it was a much better experience. I'm just gonna say, was I drunk? Well, the second time around, I was less drunk.
There have been times that you have been so drunk that.
Oh man.
You've gone off on these tangents, and the look on Catherine's face, she tries to keep it and so, keep the show going. And then it gets to a point, she's like, what are we talking about now, Scott?
I forget. What were we talking about? I don't know. Yeah, no, totes. But it's just for fun.
Well, Scott, I want to thank you for coming on.
And thank you for having me, sir.
2.5 hours almost.
Well, I will leave, and I'll say thank you to the chat. I hope I'm not pausing things up, but I guess I'll go and say thank you very much again. I'll see you in the future, Putz.